All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Life After Extreme Weight Loss. I'm going to be jumping right back into this to pick up with my conversation with Jackie Miller with Snarky Mother Nutrition. If you enjoyed the first episode, I really think you're going to enjoy this one. Make sure to stay tuned at the end to get all the information on where you can find her if you decide that working with Jackie is in your best interest. Thanks again for coming along with me on this journey, and I hope you enjoy the episode. Thank you.
But for the rest of people, for the majority of people who are trying to lose weight and the majority of people who get on these pills, they have to start giving them that education that you're going to start feeling hungry again. What are you going to do with that emotion? How are you mentally going to prepare yourself for feeling hungry again? Is that going to cause you anxiety? Are you then going to start fearing hunger? To stop working out because you know that's going to make you hungry again? To walk less so that your body doesn't burn as many calories and doesn't request food soon enough? I mean, those are huge, huge things that we need to talk about. When putting people on medicine like that, we're throwing them to the wolves, and we're not we're not preparing them for real life. I get very passionate about that.
No, you absolutely should. I mean, because the first two things you listed, anxiety and to paraphrase, like an unhealthy relationship with food. You talked about relationship with food and people who diet and how they have that. Those are two things that I absolutely recognize I have now. I mean, the anxiety, I don't know if it's related to weight loss or if it's just always been there. Now I'm trying to deal with it. The unhealthy relationship with food, it's interesting. In an effort to try to help me through some of this stuff, my wife was trying to be blunt with me and told me once, like, my biggest enemy is food right now because I understand I need to eat it. I can't not eat. And I don't want to exhibit that to our children in our home. But I don't, I'm constantly going, I can't eat that. I can't eat after 8 o'clock because that was the habit I had when I was living on my own. It's like, well, I have dinner at this time. And since I'm cutting out snacks, I just don't eat anything after 8 o'clock. And I try not to drink any water after 8 o'clock because I was like, I don't want water weight. I'm cutting out sodium because the sodium retains water weight, and I'm trying to lose weight. And I did a lot of unhealthy things, but it all boils down to her, kind of trying to help me face the fact that I have a very unhealthy relationship with food right now.
Yes.
And how do you repair that? Is there any tips that you can provide people out there that maybe recognize it now or don't realize that they're going through that and hearing this going, oh my God, that's me. What would you recommend that they do?
Well, and people don't like it when I say this, but you really have to be patient with yourself. I mean, it's not something where I can give you 5 tips and in a week it's going to be like, this is fantastic. I love food again. Being patient, understanding that what you did may not have been super healthy, but it wasn't bad. You weren't trying to hurt yourself. Looking at food, I'm not going to say food is fuel. Food is fuel. But a lot of people try to repair their relationship with food by reminding themselves that it's just fuel. My body needs this. Really just taking the power away from it by reminding yourself, yeah, my body needs this, but this bag of potato chips has absolutely no power over me. If I eat it, that's awesome. If I don't eat it, that's awesome. If I eat after 8 p.m., I am not immediately going to gain any fat. If I don't eat after 8 p.m., that's okay. If I do eat after 8 p.m., that's okay also. Giving yourself permission, and I know that seems really simplistic, and I know it doesn't sound groundbreaking or anything, but really keeping it simple like that. Keeping it simple as to just giving yourself permission to eat or to not eat makes a huge difference. And that would be the biggest piece of advice that I would give someone. Give yourself permission to eat and give yourself permission not to eat. Don't beat yourself up if you're not going to eat after dinner, and don't beat yourself up if you do. It will make a world of difference for you. And yeah, definitely not saying I can't do that in front of your kids.
Right.
Yeah, my husband, love him to death. He is a personal trainer, and he tried keto for a few months against my desires and wishes and constant prodding. And he found himself saying around our children, we have 4 kids, I can't eat that. You know, when we would have popcorn, or if we would have bread, or if we would have noodles or something, I can't eat that. And it got to the point where we were having family movie night, and I got some popcorn out, and my 4-year-old said, "Oh no, Mom, I can't eat that. That's a carb." And my husband was like, "All right, I'm done." That was it. He realized how those things that we don't realize our kids are listening to, how that really affects them.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I would probably have to ask my wife if I did that. Because, I mean, we got together, we started dating in April of 2018. So, you know, I'd started in January. I mean, so I went from 305 pounds in January to, I think, again, because I was so obsessive and I was checking the scale like every day, twice a day, morning and evening. Don't ask me why I was doing that, because I think it was more like, well, this is where I weigh to start the day, and this is where I weigh to end the day. And my body loses about 1.5 pounds at night, because that's just, my metabolism's gone from 0 to overcharge at this point. So it's just burning so much. And so I was like, okay, so I should weigh about this in the morning.
Yep.
And so for a while there, that's what was happening. But so I remember weighing myself the day of our first date, when I was 233 pounds. And so I would have to ask her, but I'm sure because I was nowhere near my goal weight, I'm sure I did say that in front of our then 5-year-old, you know, my stepdaughter. My daughter was too young to really know, you know, what I was thinking. She was only 7 months old at the time, so she wouldn't have known what I was saying.
Yeah.
But she's 4 now, and so definitely, I mean, I'm more cognizant that I can't say I don't eat that, or I can't eat that. I'm more aware of that kids pick up on a lot of things. And so that's why I do try to eat my vegetables now. If not for me because it's beneficial for my body, it's because I don't want them to grow up like I did, where it's, ew, no, I don't want to eat that. Or the only vegetable I eat being green beans, which I'm sure have some level of nutritional value, but it's probably not as much as your leafy greens or your broccoli or your cauliflower or anything like that. Am I correct or wrong on that?
Green beans are actually pretty good.
Oh, great. I love green beans. That's great.
So you are good. Yeah, it's, especially here in the Midwest, it's the corn. Like,
Oh.
I have vegetables at every meal. I have corn and potatoes. Like, well, technically. That was my life growing up, corn and potatoes.
I love potatoes too, but it's like I can't. I know they're so starchy and that they're not the greatest for you. So it's like I try to limit the potato intake.
I love potatoes.
Yeah. Well, who doesn't?
Yeah.
I guess people who don't like potatoes.
Exactly.
So you said you do go to the gym.
I work out at home.
You work out.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I want to ask, what would your, so I recognize a large part of my own body dysmorphia with all this is I mean, so you know my cousin, and I'm sure if she listens, I give her full permission to say whatever she wants to say. I was really big, and I had a really huge protruding stomach. I just was I was obese. I'm just gonna call it like it was, and she could attest to that. And I think I have pictures on my Facebook since we've connected that you could probably go back and look. I have a lot of hanging, I mean, not a lot. It's to me, it seems like a lot of loose skin right in my stomach. It just never receded. I lost a lot of weight. A lot of it shrank back, but this just has clung. And and there was a period of time, I'm not doing a lot of working out right now. You know, with COVID, we stopped going to the gym. Just we wanted to make sure I was, was safe. And now we're re-entering that phase, but it's just hard.
Yes.
It's hard to reestablish those habits after a year and a half off. But I recognize that's where a lot of my own discomfort, insecurity, and dysmorphia comes from. Is like I'm getting dressed in the morning, I see that, and it makes me feel like I've not done anything. Like, what do you have any advice? Not just for me, but just for anybody who might feel like that's where they're coming from.
Welcome to the family. We've all got it.
Like even when I sit down, like I feel like my jeans are too tight, and I'm feeling like it's like it's spilling over my clothes, and it makes me uncomfortable just to sit down. Like, and I feel like I'm wearing normal size clothes at this point, but it's uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable in my own skin at this point, and I don't know what to do about it.
Well, and that skin can weigh a lot too. I have a really good friend who lost like 400 pounds, and now a lot of her, what she considers excess weight is hanging skin. Weightlifting can help with that. It can help tighten that up, making sure that you're doing, not crazy, compound movements or anything, but like simple deadlifts and, believe it or not, like squats and things like that can really help tighten it up. Collagen supplementation can help some people. They can help tighten it up a little bit. As we get older, our bodies stop making as much collagen and can't even stop making collagen if we had really terrible eating habits for a long time, if we were smokers, drinkers. Depending on how long your skin was stretched out like that, it may not have the elasticity to go back in. So there are things that, you can make sure that you're eating a lot of protein. You can make sure that, you're doing some strength training, possibly supplementing. The jury is still out on whether that works for everybody. But unfortunately, a lot of that is not going to go away. Mm-hmm. So finding a way for you to be able to live with it, and it's not easy. And I understand that. My first 3 kids did absolutely nothing to my stomach, and I got huge with them. My 4th kid destroyed my stomach. So I am right there with you. Mm-hmm. Our genetics, those of us who have it, our genetics are just that much more joyful that they gave us that gift to remind us of the hard work that we've put in becoming healthier. As for advice on how to get used to it, honestly, I give the exact same advice that I do with, the people who are suffering from any body issues. Trying to say something kind about it, because it's going to be there. It's more than likely not going to go away if you are above a certain age and if you had maintained that weight for a certain amount of time. And people don't like hearing that, and I don't like saying that. I wish I could say, if you do this and this, it's going to go away.
Sure.
For most of us, it's not.
Well, no, sometimes the blunt truth is just needs to be heard.
So really, loving on it a little bit. My kids crack. I crack them up when kind of play with it a little bit. You got to find something that works for you. I have a very bizarre sense of humor, so that works for me. But again, just even staring at it for a little while in the morning, staring at it, making yourself recognize that it's there. Trying to hide it all the time isn't going to work. Trying to ignore it and pretending it's not there isn't going to help you live with it. So just getting used to it and accepting it.
Yeah.
Terrible advice, I know.
No, it's not. It's not terrible advice at all. Do you have you dealt with any clients who did have excessive weight loss, extreme weight loss, and maybe either just still worked with you or now maybe coming to you because they've done that and are now starting to get scared that they're gaining weight back? And if you have, what would you advise? What would be your recommendation? What would be your recommendation on how to just get a handle on that mentally, but then physically as well?
I feel very blessed that the people who continue to work with me don't have a large regain. What's the word? Rate? We're going to use rate, and I know that's not the right word. The brain is going. But they don't have a large amount. They don't gain back a large amount. There is often a 5-pound area where after you have been dieting for a while and you're having a hard time moving into that maintenance mode because, like I said, you don't want to diet forever. You want to get to a point where you can just eat, the amount of calories that your body needs to survive, to counteract the activity that you're doing where you're not trying to lose weight. So when people move into that maintenance mode, naturally, they overcompensate. So we get into an area where they might gain, 5 to 10 pounds. But I've been very blessed that the people who trust me enough to work with me never really go above that. It's when people stop working with me or not just me, I don't want to sound conceited in that aspect. Stop working with somebody that they start gaining weight again. And generally that happens when they get tired of eating in a caloric deficit. They get tired of working out. They get tired of doing all those things that we need to do, and then they get embarrassed. And they don't want to tell the person that they're working with, I don't want to do this anymore. So rather than just scaling back, they completely backslide and stop doing any of the healthy habits. So advice that I would give to someone, though, in that situation, because I have had people come to me who had lost a ton of weight and had started to gain it all back and were looking for someone new to work with, would be the exact same advice that I give someone starting out for the first time. Let's not worry about how we're going to change everything overnight. Let's start adding in those little baby steps on what you can do to get back into a healthy mindset. Because it doesn't matter if you're dieting for the first time or if this is the 80 millionth time that you're trying to get healthy. The exact same baby steps in the beginning work. They work for your mental health. They work to help you not become, a social pariah. You don't have to ignore the snack table at parties. You don't have to say no when your friends ask you to go out to restaurants because you're afraid that no one's going to serve the food that's, on plan, quote unquote. You just work on little tiny steps in the very beginning, the first couple weeks, to get your brain used to getting into that healthy mindset again.
So a 5 to 10 pound fluctuation is relatively normal?
Oh, yeah. You can gain 5 pounds. Well, I say gain. Your weight can fluctuate 5 pounds in a single day.
Believe it or not, I don't think I knew that. I mean, so I'm going to act shocked because it sounds like brand new information for me. Perhaps someone told me that before, but I didn't realize it can be that much.
Oh, yeah. Water weight. If you're eating things that take your body a while to digest, which you should, that's actually a good thing. That food won't be completely digested. You can have inflammation. A lot of it will be water weight because of just the way that our bodies work. If you work out a lot, your muscles are being broken down during that exercise and they have to repair themselves. During that process, you get a lot of inflammation that, can cause weight gain. That can also cause, the water retention, things that you eat. If you're drinking a lot of water, if you're not drinking a lot of water, super easy to go up and down 5 pounds in a day.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, it's not 5 pounds of fat,
right?
Which people have a difficult time coming to terms with, but it is a difference of 5 pounds.
Man, okay. All right. I don't know if I have any other questions for you. This has been just such an eye-opening conversation and experience. And,
fantastic. Good.
It's just really important for me to be able to talk to, not just me, but I want to, again, share, because I hope there are people out there who might feel the same way I felt back in 2018 and just didn't know what to do with it. So I just didn't talk to anybody about it, and then I just shoved it deep down, and now I'm paying for it 3 years later, trying to work through a whole bunch of things. But Jackie, thank you so much for your time, your expertise, and your advice, and just the whole wealth of knowledge. I really can't thank you enough for coming out here and sitting down with me for, I feel like it's been about an hour, almost an hour now. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome. May I give one bit of parting advice?
Absolutely.
To those of you guys out there who may be thinking about starting, on a healthier lifestyle, or if you've tried a million times over and you're convinced that it's not for you, you can absolutely do this. And you don't have to spend a lot of money to do it. You do not need pills to do it. You do not need supplements to do it. You do not need anything fancy to do this. You just have to be willing to have patience with yourself and willing to make some little small changes in the beginning to help yourself be successful. Don't give up on yourself.
Thank you so much. Jackie, do you want to provide your information if someone wants to, do you have like an email address, a business email address, if people want to look you up and to, that listen to this and want to work with you?
Don't laugh. My brand is called Snarky Mother Nutrition.
Okay, that's good.
So if you put Snarky Mother Nutrition into a web browser, It will pop up with my webpage, my Instagram. I have all of my contact information on there as well. I do try to take a very open approach to helping people, and I am always open to answering questions.
I actually, now that because you mentioned Instagram, what is, because I've asked this of the others, and I can't believe it slipped my mind. How badly do you feel social media like Instagram has messed with people's mindset with how they should look? I think you touched on it a little bit at the beginning, but in the face of the direct question, how badly do you feel how much do you feel they've contributed to people's body dysmorphia and mental health surrounding their body image?
Oh man, we have become zombies. It is scary how much that has killed us, absolutely mentally and physically. And people can use their powers for good on these social media platforms. There are some amazingly positive content creators who are available to lift you up rather than tear you down. But really the last, 2 decades almost of social media evolving into what it is have absolutely destroyed our mental health. And I know we talk a lot about how it destroys young girls, but holy cow, it destroys men too. I mean, it's not like one sex is being attacked here. We, as a human species, are being told that we have to look a certain way and that our value is based on whether people like us or not enough. And that is absolutely ridiculous. So if you find yourself on social media and you find yourself doom scrolling and everything that you see triggers these emotions of, I'm not good enough, I wish I looked like that, oh man, I wish I was that person, unfollow those people. Unfollow anyone that makes you feel less than. Make your social media, curate it to be a positive experience. And if you can't do that, if you genuinely feel like you cannot find a single person on social media to make you smile and make you happy, get off social media. I do most of my business on social media. Like 99% of my clients come from social media. And I will still tell them, get off social media. If I would rather my business not thrive if that means the majority of people out there are not hating themselves because of what they see online.
Yeah. Because, I mean, that's just, it seems so simple now, but that's a large part of, where I feel like this comes from on just me personally. It's like, man, I see things like, I wish I didn't have this front stomach issue. If it just was where my pants, just would fit like they should fit instead of me putting them there and feeling like they don't belong there. So.
Well, and you got to remember, most of the people, not most, a lot of the people in social media don't actually look like that.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And not just filters, but I know ladies who have, the hanging skin on the stomach from childbirth, from weight loss, who have found the art of hiding it in their clothes. And you would never be able to tell that it's there, which I understand why they do it, but I think it also misrepresents the weight loss process. So then you get people who follow them who think they can do what they've, what they've done. They can lose that weight. They can get those gains without having the loose skin. And I don't like it. I don't think it's a positive experience for people.
No, I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. Yeah. So anybody out there looking it up, Snarky Mother Nutrition in a web browser, and you'll get Jackie's website, her Instagram,
all of my contact information.
And I can just tell that for anybody out there, she would have a whole lot of information, because this has only been about an hour's worth, and this is such a huge topic that we can't cover. We couldn't even scratch the surface on everything in just 55 minutes to an hour. So. Definitely look her up if you're feeling like you need some help in this area. She would be a great resource. She's been a great resource today. So thank you once again, Jackie.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Life After Extreme Weight Loss, hosted by Brandon Schneider and produced by Brandon Schneider with help from the Elliott School of Communication. If you need help navigating mental health, reach out to Counseling and Prevention Services or your local healthcare professional.